So here it is, folks. This is the before. And you guys that have watched my videos and tolerated all the boredom know that I just can't leave well enough alone. This is the Savage TrailHunter 110 TrailHunter and 6.5 PRC. And again, this is the before. And I'm going to take you through from the before through the during and into the after, and we're going to get into this upcoming here and show you what we're going to do with this thing. We're going to try and make this thing a magnificent shooter before we even get it to the range. That's the goal here, and we'll get back to you here in just a moment as I set everything up. All right, folks, thank you. Be back in a minute. So here you go, folks. Savage TrailHunter. Gonna get an upgrade. We're gonna get rid of this very flexible stock that bends and goes every direction. Doesn't hold the, I mean, look at that. You can hear it, and I'm not even trying. So imagine when if I want to stick a bipod on there. I'm not saying it's a horrible stock. It does have aluminum pillars, but you're gonna join me on the journey. Get rid of this plastic trigger guard here, and we're gonna throw this guy into an MDT LSS XL Gen 2 with an MDT rear stock fixed interface, and we're gonna build him up, and we're gonna make him a tremendous target shooter before he ever goes down one round down the pipe. I know what everybody says. Everybody says, well, shoot it first and see how it is, and then you can gauge the improvements. You know, that's good if I want to gauge the improvements. I could care less about the improvements. I want it to shoot good. I'm going to put it in something that I feel and I have experience with is going to be an excellent choice for the stock. You're going to provide me with top level accuracy, at least as good as I can muster up for myself and my skill set. I'm not worried about improvements. I'm worried about getting the best out of it from day one. So that's what I'm doing, folks. You can join me. You don't have to watch the whole thing. You can skip through, but I'm going to get everything set up, and I'm going to actually take this apart. I'm going to be the bane of YouTube's existence, baby. I'm going to take this stock off, and we're going to put it on here, and I'm going to go through the whole process, and it's all going to be on video just for you, gun tubers. We'll be back shortly. All right, guys, so let's look at what we're dealing with here. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the stock. I've already got the bit here set up. Full transparency. I've already loosened these a bit, but still going to go through the full motion so that way you can see how we've got to do this. Now, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and remove the scope and get that taken off, because basically putting this into this barreled action into the MDT, it's just going to be easier to do without the scope in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the scope, and then we'll get it back in place once we actually get ourselves set there into the other stock. Let me make sure I got the right size here. This is a Torx. I don't know why I feel like that one is not the right size, and yeah, so we're gonna go with this one. So let me get this guy off right quick. And these come off pretty easy. These are the Arcon Optics rings. I really am a big fan of Arcon Optics, and I love their rings, even though this isn't an Arcon Optics scope. This is a ride-on scope, but I really like the Arcon Optics rings because they go on really good. I like the one-piece mounts, but these guys go on really good. They're really solid, and they work great on 34 millimeter scopes and scope tubes, and they're not extremely expensive. I'm gonna put this over here so it's out of the way and put that on the chair. So, all right, take that back out. I try to, you can always see anytime you see my pictures and my videos, I've always got a mess going on here, but I still try to always have my tools somewhat organized so I can get to them easier. So basically the way you're going to do this, the way this guy comes apart, for those of you who don't know, is you've got a trigger guard here that's separate, and then you've always got to take the box magazine out. Let's go ahead and safety check it, make sure everybody can see we are unloaded, we are safe. So we'll take this box magazine out. Go ahead and take the bolt out as well. Let me set this right here and you can see how we do it. Basically what you got to do is you got to pull the trigger. This is a top bolt release, so once you pull the trigger, you can push that top bolt release down and the bolt comes right out. A lot of people, that's a sore point for a lot of people with Savages, but it's really quite easy, folks. It's not that difficult. So most people that cry about it, they just need something to bitch about. Anyhow, okay, so anyway, we got to take these guys out. These are your two action screws here. This guy is just a screw that helps hold the trigger guard in. This action screw here holds the trigger guard in as well. So typically this one here, when I first received this, it was very loose. It was only, hell, I wouldn't even say it was 25 inch-pounds, but once I had put it back together and after I had taken apart, cleaned everything, I had put it all back at 40 inch-pounds. But the screw in the back here, because this is a plastic trigger guard, and this screw really doesn't tie into any metals, it just kind of goes into your stock. I put this one at 15 inch-pounds, and you can see that's the screw. Whoops, I just dropped it, of course. Let me get it back so you can see it better again. And you can see that's the screw that's used. The factory action screws, at least on the TrailHunter, are 7/32, and this is a 7/32 also, as you can see. And again, full transparency, like I said earlier, I had already halfway loosened these a little bit. For reference, when you take these out, if you take this apart and you're just going to clean it or do whatever you're going to do, just for a reference point, just remember the short one goes in the front and the long one goes in the back. Got that. Pull this out real quick. Man, YouTube right now is hating me because I'm modifying a firearm and they just can't believe it, man. Can you imagine someone would do that online and show people how to modify their stock on a firearm? Anyhow, this is the back action screw. It goes right here in this back section, and we're going to save all that and go ahead and lift this action off, and that leaves us with the barreled action. And again, there's where your screws go in. That's the little stock screw that goes in there and helps hold the trigger guard in, and then this is your action screw. You get an action screw here, and then of course you've got your pillars here, and these are aluminum pillars. This is done a little bit odd to me. They say it's because of the L shape and these new actions, but I'm not sure why Hogue puts these little teats on here, these 3 tits on this pillar in the back. But nonetheless, it's a decent stock, really and truthfully. I made some comments about it a while ago in the earlier part of this video, but it's a decent stock. I mean, it's you know, this is one of those firearms that's going to have a nice action, a nice accu trigger, a nice barreled action. It's tungsten cerakoted. You know, it's got a semi-jeweled bolt, and it's a really nice bolt, and it's a Savage, so you know it's going to shoot. But this is how they keep the price down. They put in a really cheap scope. They do a little deal with Hogue, and they basically put in a cheap stock, you know. And I mean, that's just how it is. That's how it works nowadays. If you want to save some money on something, buy something like this, and you can come back later and you can upgrade it. And you know, assuming this gun's going to shoot, which I have no doubt that it's going to, then basically this is what you get, and put that into another chassis or something, and you get yourself a good shooter. You know, hell, these have proven to shoot good with the Savage 110 TrailHunter Hogue stock on there already. So I think it's going to be that much better. But anyhow, there's your barreled action. That's actually from Area 419. It's a Hellfire adapter for the Hellfire match brake, and 6.5 PRC again, just to show you so you can see. And if I can get that on the camera there it is. 6.5 PRC, 24-inch barrel. This is a semi-heavy barrel, and it's got a little bit of a taper from tip to toe, but it's pretty heavy. This guy actually right here with the bolt in place and the scope was 8.75 pounds, just the barreled action with the scope and bolt installed. So got a little bit of weight to it. All right, let's get over here. I haven't even opened these boxes yet. Well, actually I opened the one because the one is something I have from previously, and that's the rear stock, but I haven't actually opened the box on the new stock here yet. So we're gonna do that right now and get a look at what we're dealing with. Of course, that's MDT LSS XL Gen 2, and this is for the Savage short action. So fixed interface. Supposedly, these guys fit any Savage short action. That's what is stated on the website. We're going to see how true that holds. So let me get this out of here. What else we got in here real quick? Let me see what else we got. That comes with a sticker. You know, that's cool. Some instructions right there. And the rest is just a box with foam. Let's throw that out of the way. And this is what you got. This is the chassis. And not bad. It looks pretty good. It's got your mag release here. Comes with the grip screw. That's kind of cool. It is. It does look like it's serialized, which is nice. Of course, you've got your fixed interface rear section here, and comes with sling swivels on this one here. This is first thing I do with these, obviously, is I take these off because I end up putting an Arca rail on here, and that's just how I do things. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to get rid of this guy right here because I do not need him. Let's see if I can get him broken free here. It's pretty tight. So what I'm going to do is I need to see if I can use this little guy right here and see if I can hold on to this nut on the inside. And if I can't, then I'll do it in another way. I'll just get a nut driver and do it. But if I can, I'm gonna do it with this tool I got in my hands right here. Nope, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna end up doing what I already did and bending my my Allen key, which happens. That's why they're always bendable and bend back. All right, let's get the right tool here. Handy dandy multi nut driver here, and let's see. I think I might already have the right size. No, it's not the right size. So let me see. I'm a little bit small. Let's try this guy here. Nope. Hang on, folks. Let me get the. Just gotta make sure I have the right size here. And let's see. What is this one? That's a no to that one too. So it's gotta be this little guy in here. If it's not, then I'm gonna have to go find the right one and I'll stop the video. Okay, let me stop the video for a minute, make sure I go get the right tool. Okay, I'm back. Turns out I did have the right tool. I just wasn't holding my tongue the right way. So I already got it loosened up, but you can see it's tied into that little nut right there, and we just take this guy off right here. So let me get that sling swivel removed. Now that is that. So there it is right there. So what I'm gonna do right quick is I'm gonna put this right here. I always keep these little parts because you never know when you want to use them on something else. What I'm gonna do right quick is I'm going to wipe this down right fast and make sure that it's cleaned up before I actually build it out. So bear with me. I'm gonna pause this just for a second, do a quick wipe down. It'll take me a few minutes, but it'll be instant for you. Hang on. Okay, we're back. So like I was telling you, it took me a few minutes, but it's instant for you. So I'm gonna take this grip screw out right quick, get it out of my way, and we'll get back to that in a minute here. See if I can put it somewhere over here and lose it. That's what usually happens. And so I always have extras. All right, now we just need to figure out the driver size here that is on these action screws, and got it. And that is a different size than what was than the hex size that was on the Hogue stock. This is a 3/16. So I'm gonna take this guy, since I don't need him, put him right there, get our 3/16, put him in place. And these come with these little nylon nuts on here. That's what kind of houses your action screws. So it allows you to keep them in place, and they don't have to put them in an extra baggie, so forth. I'm sure these nylon nuts are pretty inexpensive, and that being the case, it saves them having to use the extra labor to bag something up. They just put it all on here at one time and it goes. There's that action screw, and that is the back action screw, and that is quite long. So let's make sure we keep these in order here. And this front one now is a little bit interesting because it's got this special spacer. These Savage MDT stocks for these Savages come with this extra spacer in here, and it's designed to fit multiple Savage actions. So I'm gonna let that just kind of drop out. Nope, it didn't drop. That's good. But here's the front action screw right here, and then this is the spacer. And what you do with the spacer is, depending upon your action length, you can have the spacer mounted in the forward position. I'm trying to get this so you can see it in the forward position, or you could turn it around and have it mounted in the rearward position, and that's all dependent on your spacing. I think it's like 4.4 inches versus 4.2 inches, and a couple of thousandths beyond that. So anyhow, okay, so we got these guys out. Next step is I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my, man, I'll tell you what, you gotta get you one of these if you do anything with building your guns, taking them apart, anything at all. You got to get you one of these Real Avid vices. These things are amazing, and it has saved me so much frustration and heartache over such a long period of time. But anyhow, the great thing about this is I can get this in place right here. I can squeeze it in place. I can pull this guy out here. I can loosen this, and I can pretty much do anything I want with this vise. I can lay it down. I can work on any parts this way. I can spin this guy. I can work on him this way, and that's actually what I'm getting ready to do right now, is this part on camera, because what we're going to do, and make sure that's good and solid, good enough, and tighten this up, because what we are going to do now, we're going to go ahead and fix the MDT stock. I had this on another firearm once before, but it didn't get much use, so it's used, but not really. So sorry for this extended long video, by the way, folks, but this is what it takes to do something like this. So here's all the parts you get. Got some screws, got your mock buffer tube, got your stock. This is a really, really nice stock, okay? They're a little pricey, but in my opinion, they're well worth it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean these threads real quick before I put this on, and I am not planning on breaking this apart. So I am going to put a little bit of Loctite. It is removable, but I am going to put a little bit of Loctite after I verify that this goes in place good. Let's make sure it all goes on there nice and clean, which it does. So we're in good shape. Take that back off. And the back of this is how you tighten it. You got this nutted piece right here, and I'll show you how everything goes together after that. But first, let me go ahead and get this Loctite. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, folks. You can see where I got a little bit of Loctite on there, and probably went a little heavy on it, but I don't know what the hell, you know. Let me just kind of work it in the threads a little bit, and I'll get it. It's going to work out just fine. Get this put in here. All right, now we got that in place. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to wipe this excess off right here. All right, now let me see where my handy dandy socket is that might fit it, and if it doesn't fit it, then I just have to look at that. So got my handy dandy socket here and ratchet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of this just for a second, because this is padding here. And normally what I'll do is I'd usually use this and I'd lock it in with an Arca reel, but I'm going to do it this way just to make sure that I can get enough pull on it. Step off camera while I tighten this real quick, and I got to hold my tongue a certain way. Okay. I don't know how tight that is, but I think it's going to be plenty good. All right, put this back in here. Now, get it right in here. Grab it like that. And it's in there pretty good. Just check it one more time. You guys can see on camera that they're pretty tight. There you go. And I don't know what that is, but that was some oomph. So I just didn't want to torque it out of the damn vise right there. And I use this vise normally. I put all my vise blocks on here. You got all these vise blocks for your ARs and such, and you've got all the different attachments. It's got all the action rods that I put on here. You can take these off, and you got the metal jars, and this is torqueable. So I do everything building it in here and actually torquing everything down. So works out really good. All right, next we take this guy. This guy is going to slide into place. There's a little threaded hole right here on the top, and this guy's going to slide into place. And he sits in just like that. Okay, and then we've got a little accessories bag. Comes with some extra pieces here. It comes with these little guys. See if I can show them to you. Comes with these little guys right here, and what these are, it comes with 4 of those. This has quick release knobs on this side. Let me show you real quick. Pull this back off. You have quick release knobs on this side. Here's quick release knobs for loosening and tightening. You can take these out, and you can opt to put these guys in, and you can put those in with an Allen key and remove the quick release if you want to just set it and forget it. But I like to leave those quick release in there. I just like them. All right, let's see. Now we're going to put this guy in, and this is the bolt that goes in place, and it actually goes in right through this little hole right here, and that's what goes in the top of that oh hell, top of this buffer tube wannabe. So let's put this in. I'm gonna do this real quick. I'll put a little Loctite on it. I'll thread that in a little bit. We already get a little bit on the threads in there, and yeah, that'll help us out just a little bit. I have no issue putting some extra Loctite on here. People may disagree. That's fine. You don't have to do it on your gun. I do it on mine. My money, right? All right. And this drops in place. Put that in there. And then this is where it's a little bit tedious. I'm actually threading this in there and catching this. When you watch the MDT videos, they say use a long T-handle to make this thing work, and you come in the side with, it's got the little rounded piece, but man, I've never had any, I didn't have any luck with that the last time I did it. So if I remember correctly, what I did is I took this guy out. Oops, sorry, I'm gonna loosen these quick release guys. I'll show you what I did last time, and it just seemed to work for me. So if you take your cheek riser out all the way, okay, whoops, and this guy just falls out free once you take it out, but it goes right back in. Anyhow, if you take your cheek riser out, you actually get pretty much direct access right there, and then you just gotta have the right Allen wrench, which I wasn't quite prepared for. I didn't get that done. I usually like to do that ahead of time. Let me find the right size Allen wrench and come right back. Again, time for me, instant for you. All right, guys, I'm back. I got the little Allen wrench now that works with it, and these are all going to be little short shot cranks here, but so it takes a minute to get it tighten down. What I'd like to do when I can is get it in here, but it just doesn't work from the side. So for me, again, it's a little bit tedious, but if you take your time and you focus on what you're doing, you can actually get it. Like I say that, of course, and then here I am struggling with it. There we go. There we go. I need to get it turned where I can get the wrench in the right setting. There we go. And I'm gonna turn the camera off and finish this, but I just wanted you guys to see what I was doing here real quick. This is the wrench I'm using. This is a 7/32. Okay, folks, I'm back. I got it finished with this guy. I kind of forgotten. It's quite a pain in the ass, but it's all right. I got it. So I just went ahead and finished it and did it, rather than bore you guys with me having it on video and you've seen me working on this for 20 minutes to try and get it tightened down. But I'll tell you what, once it's in there, I mean, it is solid, and it is solid as a rock, and it's not coming loose. So at this point, what we can do is we can put the we can go ahead and put the cheek riser back in place. Remember, you got your wheel. So the slotted portion always goes towards the front or towards the firearm. So let's put this right here, and then we put this back in, and basically I'm just gonna thread it back in, and it goes right back into place just like that. Now, as far as the cheek riser goes, we thread it all back in here, and then I'm going to not worry about putting it at the right height or anything, but I'm just going to kind of stop it right there and then tighten these guys down. Just quick release guys, and we can fine tune that another time. All right, so there you have it, folks. There is the LSS Gen 2, basically all set up. It's got a very good solid V-block system in here. It holds up to, I believe, 1.25 inch barrel. So this barrel is going to be obviously free floated very nicely. And I think I might put the grip on right quick. I don't have the grip that I'm going to use permanently with it. And what I did do is, you have to watch on your grip usage, because it says most AR-15 grips, but when you have like your Magpul Mows and such, they aren't going to work on this guy because they have that big lip that comes up. So what I did is I took a Magpul Mow and I just cut it all flush. So I think I can make that work, and I sure can. You can see how that's going to sit right there. It works out just about right. Hell, I may just leave that, as a matter of fact. That's not bad. But eventually I want to get a B5 Systems P22 and get it either in the flat dark earth or get it in the black. But right now, that actually, this is my first time obviously to put that on there. After I cut it, I just kind of eyeballed it on what I needed to cut here to get it nice and straight, and based on what I've seen with these stocks and my previous experience with it. So not seeing this one, and it worked out pretty good. So anyhow, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and connect that guy, and let me put this guy right back in here right quick, because what I want to do is I want to open this bottom up, and I am not going to, you know what, let me put these MDT extra accessory pieces away right quick. Hate to lose those guys in case I ever want to take out the quick release portion. I'll put that in the box later, but I'll put them there so I lose them again like I tell you. All right, I'm not going to put any Loctite on this guy because I do want to change his grip out at some point. So I'm definitely not going to do that right now. Let me find the right size here. And that seems like it's a little off on that one. That is a little small. What size is this? That is the right size. So the grip screw that comes with your MDT chassis is a 5/32. Alright. I'm winging all this because I want to show you as you just go, you get everything kind of going. It'll work out, but you know, you can always pull everything out and look at it ahead of time, and if you want to, but I just kind of wing it as I go, and I pull the parts out as I need them. All right, let me get this guy in here right quick. All right, there we go. I'm not going to Gorilla tighten it because it's going to change out at some point, but I am going to German tighten it. I'm going to do a Guten tight, right? That's how we do it. Let's Guten tighten it. And so no special torque value or anything, just Guten tight. And let's make sure I got the right action screws for this one more time. We'll put this guy in here. It's just a little cap because, you know, these mag pull modes, you can always do things like that. Okay, there we go. There's the chassis with the grip on there. Man, I think that looks pretty nice, and it feels good. Got a nice thumb shelf, and it actually feels really good. There's no pinching there. I might come back, and if I decide to, I may come back and just Loctite that guy on at some point and not even worry about it. But you know what? I'm gonna do that right now. I like that. I think I'm gonna leave it. That just makes it a little bit more mine. All right, I'm gonna pause this and get it done. All right, we got it Loctite in, and now it's in. So that's ready to set up. So we got everything in place. We just gotta basically put the action in. And the way I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna set this just right here for a minute. And I am going to take this guy here. Let me adjust my camera, hang on. Okay, I'm gonna take this guy, and I'm actually gonna turn this sideways. I'm gonna set him upside down, because what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set the action on top and see how it fits. Before I do that, well, you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway right quick, because I need to find out what length this is and if it's going to be a short or long spacer, you know, for this little spacer guy I was talking about, right? So I'm going to move this up just a little bit and move the whole thing forward, because it's kind of hitting back here behind, and I can't, the back of the stock. Okay, let me see. Let me set this on here. Let me just take a look at it. I just want to see where it sits. So it's going to sit in front. Okay, so this guy is going to be facing this, the hole is going to be facing that direction. So that is good to know. I can go ahead and put this in here and drop it in, and hopefully it'll hold my tongue the right way. And there. So now let me see if I can turn it without dumping out. There it is inside there. You're seeing that spacer hole is facing the front of the rifle. Now everything should line up in theory. Let's get this in place here. Everything does. So what I'm going to do and I skipped a step. I should have had this guy ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this bolt in and get it started, because I want to set that. I want to make sure we set that lug that we got, but I want to get these started so we're not going to have the action come falling out. So I get this guy just to where he kind of meets up. Get this guy where he kind of meets up. That's good. Now I'm going to stand this guy up. You can see where I'm basically putting these action screws here and here. So now I'm going to loosen that guy just a hair. Loosen that guy just a hair. I just want to make sure that I'm sitting in that lug good and everything is balanced. There we go. Now I'm going to tighten it up. I can put a pretty good amount of taut on this, because in a second here I'm gonna hammer down on this guy, and we're gonna set him up at about 60 pounds. I don't usually go 65. I mean, everybody says 65. I go usually around 60. I mean, it's no big deal. Fix it sticks, baby. Get them. They are well worth it. So let me see. Cool thing about the fix it sticks is this guy works in many things. You don't need the T-handle either. I can use this guy. You know, just take that head out and I just put them in there and it works just the same. You know, so it's really cool. Gonna have to use the long one on this one. So what I do is I generally will stand this guy up and then I will spin it, because that helps me on the torque. So put this guy in place. Let me see if I can get it where you guys can see what I'm doing here, because it looks like we're a little bit. Let me adjust the camera here real quick. Get it going up. There we go. So what I will do here is I'll put the fix-it stick on here. I don't go straight to 60 or 65. I'm going to go to about 45 or so. And what I do is I grab this action and I start to turn it, and then I just bring the action down, and it kind of helps do everything. That's 45 right there. I don't like to tighten it all the way in one shot, because I like to get the other one consistent. Start turning it, bring the action towards me. There's 45 right there. Now I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to finish it off at 60, of course. So I'm going to turn it all the way, and then we're going to come all the way to 60 right there. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to come all the way down with the firearm. It just makes it so much easier. Bam, we're at 60 right there. And we are secured. Let me set this here right quick. Do like I always talk about. Put stuff away so that way it's out of the way, the tools at least. And we can get ready to remount the optic. The optic will go at 30 inch-pounds, and that is per Arkin Optics specs. So make sure I got the right one for that one. But before we do that, let me show you what we got here. Let me get this camera adjusted again. So here it is, folks. Look at that. It is set up. Man, it is ready to go. You look at how it's balanced in the middle here. That barrel is floated beautifully all the way to the action. The action sits in a V-block, and I'm telling you, that thing is rock solid, man. It is rock solid. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead. Let's put the bolt back in here right quick. And the bolt goes in same as before, right? You basically, let me set this where I can hold it right here, but you basically take and you pull the trigger, right? And then you squeeze that down, and once you squeeze that down, you can let go of the trigger, and you slide the bolt right back in. And I'll tell you, for this being a TrailHunter, man, it's got an outstandingly smooth action. You know, it doesn't slide on its own, but I mean, it is surprisingly smooth. And this hasn't even been fired and broken in yet. So do a function check real quick. Put on safety. Does not fire. Okay, it's locked, right? Go to the second position. We're open. Does not fire. Go to safe, or go to fire, and it does fire. Boom. This baby is operational and ready to rock and roll. Now we just got to put the scope back on it. Once I get the scope on there, we're going to be putting an arc rail on it, but I want to get the scope on there first, because the way this whole outfit is set up, I need to check the eye relief and make sure I get this scope balanced with where I want to have this length of pull set up. So basically, let me pause this real quick. So basically we are done, folks. That is the rifle. I'm not going to go through putting the scope on. You guys see that all over the place, but we are done. I know that's a mess. Like I told you, look at all that mess that's always back there. But we are finished, and this thing is mounted, and you've been with me for the entire ride of putting it all together from start to finish. If you have any questions on how to assemble these and you want one of these type of chassis from MDT, get you one, and I'm happy to help out. Shoot me some questions, but they go together real easy, and MDT has videos on how to do it, and it's just a really simple process. And this little guy right here, yeah, it was kind of a pain in the ass, but I'll tell you what, it worked out really nice, and this thing is rock solid. It's not coming loose. You've got all kinds of adjustments back here on your stock, so you can really custom fit it to yourself. And then this other speaks for itself. You know, this right here, this trigger, at some point it may change out, but it's not a bad trigger right now, so I see no reason to change it out till I start shooting this thing and get a feel for the firearm. But folks, I appreciate it. I appreciate you sticking with me. This was a long video, I know, and I'm really thankful that you guys stuck it out. And if you have any questions, let me know. Like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I still got some other videos to follow up on, and I got some new ones coming on some other firearms too at some point. Just gotta find the time to do them. All right, folks, once I get to the range and shoot this in, we're gonna see how it fires, and there'll be a report coming back on that as well. God bless you, folks. I hope you have a wonderful July 4th holiday. God bless you. God bless America. God bless Texas. God bless our ability to protect ourselves and own firearms and do these kind of things. The hell with those that don't really like it. They can just go close their door and hide in the basement. I love you, folks. Take care of yourself. Have a great holiday weekend. Bye-bye.